Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2016 reorganizational meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Ossining, January 12th, 2016. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm introducing, this is a little bit unusual, but I'd just like to introduce our public hearings on two local laws, specifically local law, I'm sorry.
We have to take the roll.
Oh, we have to take the roll first. Okay, sorry. Whoops.
Councilperson Dottori?
Here.
Councilperson Jeffrey?
Present.
Councilperson Wilshire?
Here.
Councilperson Feldman?
Present.
And Supervisor Levenberg?
Here.
Now.
Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. Please bear with me. Okay. Anyhow, I wanted to just introduce before Madam Clerk takes us through the local laws why we have a public hearing before a reorganizational meeting tonight. We are specifically local law number 1 of 2016. If you've been watching and happen to see our work session from last week, you'll know that we are retaining the law firm of Silverberg and Zelantis, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. Many of our local laws refer to actions that must be taken by a town attorney, and this law enables us to exchange our counsel to be responsible for those actions instead of a town attorney specifically. And local law number 2 enables us to charge our planning board applicants for legal services as we do for other consultants. This is also in keeping with local practice in other municipalities, and ultimately I believe it's going to save our taxpayers some money. So, Madam Clerk.
We have a public hearing this evening in the matter of local law number 1, 2016, of modifying references to town attorney in the town code. Is there anyone who's come to address the board on this issue? Not seeing anyone, may I have a motion to close this public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The second public hearing is in the matter of local law number 2, 2016, consultant fees in the town of Ossining. Is there anyone who's come to address this issue? Not seeing anyone, may I have a motion to close this public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any announcements of the board?
I would like to make an announcement, and then I would encourage my fellow board members also to, they would so like to. Thank you again to the community for supporting me and allowing me to serve and represent you. I'm so pleased to work with our newly formed board, Councilwoman Kim Jeffrey, Councilman Northern Wiltshire, Councilwoman Karen Dottori, and Councilwoman Liz Feldman. As your town supervisor, I'm excited to be working with you on ways to improve upon all of the good things that are currently happening in the town, as well as to take a look at some of the challenges and work on turning them into opportunities. I've spent my first days in office taking stock of what good work the town has accomplished and what was in the planning or interim stages. I have been on an informal listening tour with town departments and department heads to hear from employees of the town what has been going well, what has been challenging, and soliciting visions, feedback, and suggestions for ways to capitalize on their expertise to improve our systems. I hosted a department heads staff meeting and traveled around our town offices to meet with the town assessor, the tax receiver, the building department, highway department, the court clerk, the clerk's office, the parks department, our senior nutrition program, Dale Cemetery, our planning consultant, our environmental advisory committee chair, our village mayor, our village manager, our village engineer who also serves the town, our director of information technology, our finance department, and our police liaison. I also met with or communicated with residents who had ideas, visions, and or concerns. This week I'll be traveling to Albany for training along with Councilwomen Dottori and Feldman. I've also been invited to attend the Governor's State of the State and budget presentation in Albany as well. And as we all know, there will be announcements about some large initiatives, which will most likely include incentives for additional government efficiencies and infrastructure projects and economic development opportunities. I'm hoping to come back with some action items so that we can proceed to develop a plan together which will best serve our community for many years to come. Please feel free to reach out to me by email or phone. The website, as many of you know, is www.townofaustining.com, and my email is listed there, as well as our phone number, 914-762-6001. Finally, there are some public meetings coming up which might be of interest to everyone, including those at home, including the Town Planning Board meeting scheduled for January 20th, 7:30 p.m. at the Operations Center. And our first town hall meeting will be Tuesday, February 2nd at the library at 7:30 p.m., topic to be announced. Other important upcoming events include the Cooperative Scholarship Fund of Ossining hosting their annual Martin Luther King Jr. fundraiser this Saturday, January 16th at 3 p.m. in the Ossining High School auditorium, followed by a meal. And on Monday, for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I encourage everyone to volunteer for our National Day of Service in honor of this great leader who carried with him for all of us a message of peace. If you don't have anything that you know that you can do in an organization to volunteer with, you can go to volunteernewyork.org and pick a type of service that would interest you and find organizations to match. Some of them are over the weekend, so you might want to look soon. And please do participate in our government by communicating with me and with our board about how we can best serve you. Thank you, and I ask if any of our fellow board members have any other announcements. Ready?
Okay, not seeing any. Do we have any public comments on agenda items?
I'm Donna Sharrett, 84 Morningside Drive, and I have my assistant here, my husband Ken Canberra. What I'm going to speak about, sometimes I'm an artist, so a picture is usually worth 1,000 words. There's several issues that are on this particular site plan, I'm addressing the renewal of Frederick P. Clark's contract. Planning.
He's going to have to get closer to the mic or
sorry.
raise it up or something.
Okay. Let me know if this is okay. Is that good? All right, great. Planning and development in the town of Ossining should always be based on accurate and complete information. Our town consultant, Mr. Stolman, from F.P. Clark, has ignored continued requests for accurate and complete application materials for the project proposed adjacent to my husband and my property. His inaccurate, incomplete, and misleading SECRA negative declaration memo for this proposal threatens to adversely impact a wetland and stream on our property. While we embrace new tax revenue opportunities for our town, I can't emphasize that enough. We are not opposed to development in any way. We adamantly oppose any development which threatens to degrade or destroy residential properties, neighborhoods, and natural resources. Sensible development is absolutely possible. In order to achieve this, there has to be accurate, complete, and transparent reviews and documents. Several planning board decisions have been made which adversely impact residents and neighborhoods and which had the potential to impact taxpayers. As example, the Briar Commons development on North State Road adversely impact adjacent residential properties. We do have somebody here from Gordon Avenue. It was really a terrible thing that went on there against the residents. A crucial road change went unnoticed when the final site plan for the Thornton Hill development on Hawks Avenue was approved. The resulting lawsuit and foreclosure had the potential to unduly burden town taxpayers. There are currently 5 projects under consideration by the Planning Board in addition to the Sunshine Home proposal in the town of Newcastle. Many neighborhoods, residential properties, and natural resources have the potential to be adversely impacted from these proposals, to include the wetland and stream on our property. Regarding this SECRA negative declaration memo, the applicant states in their application very clearly that their project will take 18 months. Mr. Stolman states in his memo that the project will take less than a year. The applicant states in their application that the project will disturb the entire property. Mr. Stolman states in the memo that the existing property will be preserved as much as possible. The applicant states in their application that herbicide will be used as part of the mitigation plan. This is where your I'm just going to show, just in case anybody doesn't believe me, it's clearly listed on the site plan that they're going to be using glyphosate or whatever. I'm a horticulturist, but I don't use those chemicals. So, but it's clearly here. It's a 3 to 5 year plan of spraying in the wetland and stream. Mr. Stallman states in his memo that no herbicide will be used. The applicant proposes to disturb required wetland and watercourse buffers. Off-site mitigation is proposed for these losses. This is our property here with the black. I outlined that. This is the mitigation on our property. They're planning, because they're planning to build such a large structure that there won't be any room on their property. So they want to plant up to 100 foot into our property, which happens to be very well vegetated with existing natural occurring plants. So the mitigation plan is infeasible. I was informed by the town consultant that if the applicant is prevented from mitigation as they have proposed, i.e. we don't let them plant on our property, which we won't, why would we? Then they have met their obligation to mitigate and would not be required to mitigate. This is a confusing concept, and certainly if you had questions, I would advise that you speak to your lawyer about it, because he's going to be more versed than I am on that one. But basically, because Ken and I won't allow them on our property, as I understand it, and they have proposed something that they're being prevented from doing, then they have met the mitigation, and no mitigation will have to be done. None of this information is included in Mr. Stallman's SECRA memo. From the beginning of this review process, which has been going on for quite a long time now, they started in November of 2013, trespassing on our property to mark the wetland, which now they deny was there, and I don't know why they would have gotten a wetland consultant if they didn't think there was a wetland. So from the beginning of this review process, we have been fighting to have the stream on our property recognized. I filed a FOIL to access site plans which show the stream and its connectivity to the Pecanico River, including site plans that Mr. Stallman had reviewed. We also hired our own wetland consultant. We did this after one of the planning board meetings. Mr. Stallman stated that if the residents weren't happy with the results of the applicant's wetland consultant, they should go get their own. So we went and hired our own. Residents shouldn't have to do this. All of this information was submitted to the planning board and Mr. Stallman, including the fact that under the Federal Clean Water Act, the stream, which is a Pecanico River tributary, and the wetland are considered waters of the United States of America. The tributary is the source of the wetland's hydrology. It took me a year to get anyone to recognize that. They kept saying it was runoff from our gutters or something. It's a huge wetland. Ridiculous. Mr. Stallman admits this information in his document. The stream on our property has still not been identified on any of the site plans, and by extension, none of the required buffers for this stream on our property have been identified. Let me just show them. This blue line is what they finally, after the wetland consultant and all the site plans, I have 2 binders of information, they finally agreed that there's a stream here. This comes, Councilman Jeffries will know, there's a pond right up here, a very large pond on Morningside Drive, and then several comes down here. The problem is that there's also a stream this way, and they've omitted all of that part of the stream. That would make this buffer a 40 feet bigger area than it is by old laws, and by the new laws there's going to be a 100-foot buffer. But this is, and I have site plans, including site plans for the 553 North State previous site plans that show the T in that stream. I have our, we have our survey. I have site plans that were on and they don't, they still refuse to recognize that. The new laws would impose a 100-foot buffer for the wetland. Also admitted is information about the proposal to reroute the piped portion of the tributary. Can I show them? Existence, he says that there's no wildlife on the property, which is kind of amazing. There's right now the tributary is piped diagonally through the property. They did that God knows when. I have a LiDAR map. This used to probably all be a wetland at some point, but now it's not because the pipe is in here. They are proposing to reroute the stream. They're going to dig up with big machinery and pipes and put the stream all the way like this and around, right next to the wetland. None of that information is in the SECRA memo. There's no information about the amount of fill that they're going to bring in, because they're proposing to raise the entire property, so it's like a amount, like right now it goes down. They're going to bring it up so it goes off the sides and it's on the higher on the middle. All of that information is excluded. Mr. Stolman's SECRA memo does not include the very impacts that should have been the subject of this review. The document is so inaccurate and incomplete that in no way describes the project or the property for this proposal. SECRA findings should be based upon facts. There needs to be accountability. All materials produced by professional consultants and applicants should be required to be accurate and complete. The standard for our town should be on par with the standards we expect from our school system. Our town deserves a town consultant willing to conduct responsible reviews that are not just within the confines of the property lines of a proposed project, but in relation to adjacent properties and natural resources, and with respect to the potential impacts to the watershed and lower watershed communities. Nature does not recognize man-made property lines. We all live in a watershed, and our natural resources comprise the habitat that sustain us. Superstorm Sandy was an environmental response to the past and continued assault against natural resources. We need a consultant that considers the bigger picture and one who is dedicated to accuracy and transparency. Last year, in spite of serious planning review problems, it was explained that the town's consultant would have his contract renewed one more year because there were 3 new planning board members and several large projects under consideration by both the town and planning boards. It is time now for a new consultant. And I have, if ever you want site plans, I've got 2 binders of them. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the board on any agenda items?
All of these agenda items.
Now we will move on to appointments. Madam Supervisor, if you would like to do the first one, your deputy supervisor.
Sure, I just wanted to comment on the public comment, which
course.
I wanted to just thank you for your input, and we take everything that we hear from the public under advisement and discuss it and have an opportunity to think about it and act accordingly. So thank you very much for your input. It's with my great pleasure and honor to appoint Kim Jeffrey to the deputy supervisor for the town of Ossining. Kim's been a great asset to this community and to our board, and I'm looking forward to having her fill that role.
Thank you.
Accept.
I do.
Okay, fantastic.
I didn't know I'd get to say that a second time in my life, other than my
We'll move on to Deputy Receiver of Taxes. In accordance with the appropriate provisions of law, Ms. Julie Davis is hereby reappointed to the office by the Receiver of Taxes of the Town of Ossining for 2016, bearing the title and full responsibilities of Deputy Receiver of Taxes, serving at the pleasure of the Receiver of Taxes. Now, Madam Supervisor.
I'm excited again to appoint a number of my board colleagues to various liaison positions and appointments. I am the de facto on a number of committees and also appointed to Historic Hudson River Towns, the Intermunicipal Leadership Team, which includes the school district, the village, the town, the libraries, our police force, and I might have left out a couple, but that's basically what the Intermunicipal Leadership Team encompasses. Westchester Municipal Officials Association and Ossining Communities That Care. I'm happy, and we at our work session last week, we had an opportunity to discuss these appointments and kind of choose which ones everybody felt like they were most suited to. And Councilwoman DeTorres will be the liaison to Westchester County, to IFCA, New York State, the Village of Ossining, and co-liaison to the Austin Historical Society. We have co-liaisons to help our trustees, our council people. Basically, if they aren't available to attend a meeting, then a co can go to that meeting. Councilwoman Feldman, Green Austin Committee, Austin Volunteer Ambulance Corps, the Austin and Briarcliff Manor Fire Departments, Austin Historical Society, the Austin Boat and Canoe Club, liaison to the Village of Austin Water Department, and co-liaison to Austin and Briarcliff Manor Chambers of Commerce. Am I allowed to keep going, Madam Clerk? Yep, okay. Councilwoman Jeffrey, as Deputy Supervisor, our Intermunicipal Agreement Committee, the Recreation Advisory Board, I think we missed a meeting, FYI, because we didn't have our appointments yet in place, Business Development Committee, Austin and Briarcliff School Districts, liaison to the Highway Department, co-liaison to the Village of Austin Water Department, co-liaison to the Austin and Briarcliff Manor Fire Departments, and the Village of Briarcliff Manor. Councilman Wiltshire, Dale and Sparta Cemeteries, Austin and Briarcliff Manor Chambers of Commerce, liaison to Teatown Lake Reservation, co-liaison to the Recreation Advisory Board, and co-liaison to Austin Boat and Canoe Club.
Move on to, Budget Officer, Personnel Director, and Aide to the Supervisor. Resolved, the Town Board hereby reappoints Madeline Zahach, Budget Officer for the Town of Ossining, effective January 1, 2016 through December 31st, 2017. And be it further resolved that the duty of aide to the Supervisor is in addition to her duties as Budget Officer. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No, we didn't have to do those. Those were your appointments. Justice Court, resolved that the Town Board hereby reappoints the following to the position of Town Constable at an hourly rate of $50 to serve at the pleasure of the Board during calendar year 2016. Carlos Castro, Austin, New York, and Alan Gantz, Austin, New York. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the Town Board hereby reappoints the following to the position of Town Court Attendants at an hourly rate of $20 to serve at the pleasure of the Board during calendar year 2016. Mario Conti, Austin, John Simpkins, Austin, Alan Gantz, Austin, Richard Fernandez, Cortland Manor, and Franklin Jackson, Austin, and Franklin gets an additional $25. Do I have a
So moved.
Second.
I didn't. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that somebody had moved to Ossining, and that makes me very happy that
Yes.
most of our court attendants are from Ossining. So that's good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the Town Board hereby reappoints Greg McWilliams, Ossining, to the Town of Ossining Planning Board for a 5-year term set to expire on December 31st, 2020. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the Town Board hereby appoints Mark Holfleck, Ossining, to the Town of Ossining Planning Board for a 5-year period set to expire on December 31st, 2020. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'd just like to say that Mark had served on the Architectural Review Board Committee and had come to us. There was an opening. Somebody decided not to apply again for the position, who had been serving us for many years, and we're very grateful to Dennis Kirby for his service as a volunteer for many, many years on the planning board. Mark had stepped up, and we're very excited that he will take on this new challenge. It's a lot of hours, and we're grateful to all of our volunteers for all of the various boards that they serve on.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board hereby reappoints Sal Carrera Ossining as chair of the Town of Ossining Zoning Board of Appeals for a 5-year term set to expire December 31st, 2020. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board hereby reappoints James Blair Ossining to the Town of Ossining Zoning Board of Appeals for a 5-year term set to expire on December 31st, 2020. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I just want to say again, just to capture Jim Blair, Sal Carrera, and Greg McWilliams, who have served on the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Board for their years of service to date and their good work for the town, and we look forward to future good work from them.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board hereby designates the Gazette as the official newspaper and the Journal News as the alternate newspaper of the Town of Ossining for 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just want to make a comment here that the Journal News is daily, which is why we have, which is why we'd like to designate them as the alternate newspaper. We have some new notifications as part of our new environmental laws that will impact when we can get in. The Gazette is a weekly. Sometimes we can't get in soon enough for our notification deadline, so we have the Journal News here as the alternate.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board of the Town of Ossining hereby adopts the following monthly meeting schedule for 2016. Regular town board meetings, second and fourth Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. at the Birdsall Fagan Police Court Facility, 8688 Spring Street. Work sessions first and third Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. at 16 Croton Avenue Boardroom. The legislative session scheduled for Tuesday, October 11th, will be moved to 9 a.m., meeting in observance of Yom Kippur. The legislative session scheduled for Tuesday, November 8th, will be moved to Wednesday, November 9th, due to Election Day. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved that office hours of the town offices for 2016 will be Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board hereby appoints Martha R. Masidi, town historian for 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just like to say that I'm very excited that we will be reappointing Martha Masidi to this role, as she has served again as a volunteer, and this is a required position by New York State. We're hoping that one day get a little bit of money from the state so that we can improve what the town historian is able to actually offer to the public and take advantage of that role. But we'll seek to do that in kind ways that we can along the way, so that we can again improve access as well as knowledge about our wonderful historic sites in Ossining.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved that wherever it shall be appropriate to compensate town officials and/or town employees for mileage, they shall be reimbursed at a rate of 54 cents per mile to be paid upon claim voucher after audit and approval in accordance with IRS standards. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved that pursuant to Article 8 of the Town Law, the Town of Ossining shall pay the annual membership dues for membership in the Association of Towns of the State of New York for 2016 in the amount of $1,500. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Ossining hereby authorizes the following town personnel to attend the annual meeting of the Association of Towns to be held in New York City, February 14th to the 17th, 2016, subject to approval of their department heads, town supervisor and members of the town board, town assessor, building inspector, town clerk, and deputy town clerk, receiver of taxes and deputy receiver of taxes, superintendent of highways, town justice, town court clerks, budget officer, assessment personnel, chairman and members of the zoning board, chairman and members of the planning board, and chairman and members of the environmental advisory board. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board hereby designates Dana Levenberg, supervisor, as delegate to the Association of Towns annual meeting for 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board hereby designates Madeline Zahach, budget officer, as alternate delegate to the Association of Towns annual meeting for 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the supervisor be and hereby is authorized and directed to execute an agreement with the SPCA of Westchester for the period January 1, 2016 through December 31st, 2016, providing for humane procedures for homeless and stray dogs and cats seized by the dog control officer, animal control officers, police, and other agents of the municipality. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board of the town of Ossining hereby acknowledges that the town's dental insurance program with Delta Dental of New York will continue at the same rates as 2015 for the period January 1, 2016 through December 31st, 2016 for group number 1576-0001 at a rate of $62.58 per month per employee with no dependents and $148.86 per month per employee with family coverage. And be it further resolved that the group number 1576-0002 shall be at a rate of $67.56 per month per employee with no dependents and $158.22 per month per employee with family coverage. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Whereas the town of Ossining entered into an agreement with Santa Pro Disposal Services Corp. For the removal of refuse, garbage, and commingled recyclables at residential properties within the unincorporated area of the town of Ossining on December 21st, 2012, and now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby exercises its option to renew with Santa Pro's proposal of 556 North State Road, Briarcliff Manor, New York, for fiscal year 2016 at a cost not to exceed $424,755. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second. I have a question. Maddie, is that the same amount? Okay, so it has not moved.
We based that off of the October CPI, which was almost nothing, so it's the same amount as last year.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I will not read the entire compensation. It is here. It's available on the website. It's available in my office, and anyone here has it in front of them. Resolved, the town board hereby approves the following compensation plan for 2016. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Surety bond, whereas certain officers and/or employees of the town of Ossining designated by law are required by law to file an undertaking which shall remain in full force and effect until the expiration of their term of office, the termination of their employment, or the further resolution of this town board. And whereas the town board of the town of Ossining by prior resolution has determined it is more beneficial and economical to provide the undertakings by blanket bond, it is therefore resolved that all officers and/or employees of the town of Ossining will be bonded by a blanket bond in the amount of $500,000, except that the following position will carry an additional surety bond of an amount of $100,000, and that's the receiver of taxes. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town supervisor is authorized to continue the intermunicipal agreement with the Village of Ossining to provide engineering services to the town for the calendar year 2016 for a fee totaling $85,390, which is $7,116 per month. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The comptroller is authorized to pay F.P. Clark in accordance with the new fee schedule contained in the letter from F.P. Clark dated December 28, 2015, for the services otherwise authorized by the town. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
I'd just like to comment that this is not an annual contract. It's just we're accepting the fee schedule.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Again, we have the resolved that the law firm of Oric, Harrington, and Sutcliffe, LLP, 666 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York, is hereby retained as bond counsel in accordance with the fees set forth in Section 11 and 12 of the proposal received from Oric dated December 30th, 2015. Do I have a motion?
Moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now, again, we have the 2016 fee schedule. This is, again, on the website, or it's available in my office, so I will only read the top. Resolved, the town board of the town of Ossining hereby approves the following schedule of fees for calendar year 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I just wanted to comment that there were a couple of department heads and board members who were taking a look at some of the fees, and there were a couple of them that changed, and I'd like our budget director to discuss that briefly so that we can have an understanding of what the changes were.
Sure. So the first change can be found on page 9, right in the center. Dale Cemetery deed change is $50 per change. So that's something that the town board had actually adopted last year, but had not yet been included in the fee schedule. So that's one change that you'll see. The next one is on page 13. You'll see where it says escrow accounts under zoning. Based on what the supervisor had spoken about earlier at the beginning of this meeting in regards to local law number 2, that now the town will be able to charge back legal services to applicants, we decided with the help of the Planning and Zoning Board Secretary that perhaps those escrow account minimums should be boosted just a bit. So those have gone up by about $2,500 each, and we can certainly revisit these as we see how the year plays out, whether we need to reduce those minimums. One of the town board members had also asked if the applicant doesn't use all of their escrow, can it be returned? And the answer is absolutely yes. It's just to ease the process for our planning and zoning department. The other change has to do with the boat ramp fees, which is under the Parks section, which starts on page 10 and continues on page 11. We had made changes to the daily fees for residents and the seasonal fees for residents for convenience of administering those permits by way of making change. So they had been uneven amounts. So we've changed it to even those out, but we will be talking about those in a work session coming up. So the town board will have a chance to review all of these fees, and we will check in again with department heads to see if they recommend anything else be changed.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Jail Cemetery fee schedule. Resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby approves the following schedule of fees for Dale Cemetery for calendar year 2016. Grave prices, single depth $1,900, double depth $2,400, Child's grave, 2.5 by 5, $550. Baby grave, 18 by 26 inches, $350. Niche and above ground columbarium holds 2 urns, $1,400. Bronze name and date door plate installed, $359. Cremation grave space, 3 by 3, $750. Residents of Ossining are entitled to a reduction of $100 on the grave price, includes original interment. Grave price sections 9 only. Single depth grave is $1,600. Double is $1,900. Section 12 prices: opening Saturday fees $1,600, $750. Cremation with vault and Saturday's fees $850 and $400. Interment prices: single depth with vault liner $1,300, single depth with cassock $1,375, double depth with vault liner $1,450, double depth with casket $1,525. Child's grave $575, baby grave $400, above ground columbarium second urn $150, bronze nameplate installed $150, bronze nameplate installed $70, cremated remains $600. The price for direct cremated remains will be at $500. Disinterment charges remaining here with vault single depth $2,500, double depth $2,900. Disinterment remaining here, casket only, single depth $2,625, double depth $3,050. Disinterment to another cemetery with vault $1,700. Disinterment to another cemetery, casket only $2,350. The above disinterment charges are for labor only. There will be additional charges if a new wood box or steel vault is necessary at the time of removal. Concrete or vault company charges are additional. Inscription fees $35. Additional charges: there are no interments on Sundays or holidays. Burials must be by 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Saturday burials must arrive by 11:30. There will be a charge of $125 per hour for late arrivals. Dale Cemetery, Town of Ossining, must be notified by 12 noon on Friday if a burial is scheduled for the following Monday. Otherwise, there is a $550 fee for weekend preparation. There will be a $200 fee in the winter if frost, ice, snow conditions exist. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I just wanted to comment that this also was a recommendation from our department head at Dale Cemetery, that some of the prices were not competitive with some of our other local cemeteries, so a couple of them have changed. I don't know if you have to articulate if they all have or just a few of them.
It was all of the interment charges and all of the grave prices did change.
I think you said it was $125 per hour for late arrivals on Saturday, but this is per half hour. Which is it? Okay, thank you.
And one more thing, do the undertakers, the notification of Ossining ones that's east?
The
Question.
funeral directors, you mean?
Yeah, the funeral directors.
Yep.
You sent them notification of changing?
No. Once you've approved them, we will.
All those approve it?
Aye.
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 All those opposed? Resolved that pursuant to section 57.19 of the local government records law, the town board hereby appoints Mary Ann Roberts, town clerk, records management officer of the town of Ossining. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I was going to say. With great pleasure.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Appointment of marriage officers. Resolved that the town board hereby appoints Mary Ann Roberts and Dana Levenberg as marriage officers for the town of Ossining for 2016. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'm excited that I get to serve in this role. So give us a call when our clerk is not available.
We will.
I will be.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we have our finance investment policy. Again, I will not read it in its entirety. One, we have the scope, objectives, delegation of authority, prudence, diversification, internal controls, designation of depositories, which I will read. The banks and trust companies authorized for the deposit of town monies are J.P. Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, Sterling Bank, TD Bank, and Tompkins Mahopac National Bank. We have collateralizing deposits, safekeeping, and collateralization, permitted investments, authorized financial institutions and dealers, purchase of investments, repurchase agreements, and that's it. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Start doing some whole paper. No, we don't. Resolved, the town board of the town of Austin hereby adopts the debt management policy as follows. The comptroller will monitor the debt portfolio annually for refinancing opportunities through services of a financial advisor. This can be done in connection to the continuing disclosure process. The minimum criteria for bond refunding are as follows. 1, refunding should produce savings equal to 3% of bonds to be refinanced. 2, savings after insurance premium should be 2.5 times underwriter's discount and other costs of insurance. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Again, we will only read portions of this. Finance procurement policy, whereas Section 104B of the General Municipal Law requires the governing body of every municipality to adopt a procurement policy for all goods and services which are not required by law to be publicly bid. And whereas comments have been solicited from all officers in the town of Austin involved in the procurement policy, now therefore be it resolved that the town of Austin does hereby adopt the following procurement process, which is intended to apply to all goods and services which are not required by law to be publicly bid. Purchases up to $999, purchases between $1,000 and $10,000, purchases of $10,000 and over, and then there are general provisions. That's it. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Reimbursement of town employee business expenses. Whereas from time to time employees incur certain expenses in connection with performing their duties, attending training, seminars, and/or conferences, and whereas the town of Austin has established guidelines which an employee may be legally reimbursed for expenses, now therefore be it resolved that the town of Austin does hereby adopt the reimbursement of town employee business expenses as follows. And again, we have purpose of this policy, prior written authorization required, claim voucher required, use of petty cash for employee reimbursements, legal authority, tax exempt certificate, transportation, meals, lodging, registration, tuition and materials, gratuities, and periodic review. Do I have a motion?
Move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Agreement with the New York State Municipal Workers' Compensation Alliance. Resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby continues its membership with the New York State Workers' Compensation Alliance for fiscal year 2016 to administer workers' compensation claims at a cost not to exceed $135,970, not including the New York State assessment fee. Do I have a motion?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We now going to move into our regular meeting.
No, we have one.
No,
Oh, we have one more. Did I miss it? Oh, whoops. You know what? I read ahead.
Resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Ossining continues its insurance policies and coverage with New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal effective January 1, 2016 through December 31st, 2016, at an amount not to exceed $121,491. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
Who is the second?
Tim could be second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that completes your reorganizational meeting. We will now go into our regular meeting. Board resolutions. We have 2 sets of minutes on here that we will not be approving, as the board members that were there are not here. So we will just, the minutes do not have to be approved. So we'll just move on to Resolution C. Approval of voucher detail report. Resolved that the town board hereby approves the voucher detail report dated January 12, 2016 in the amount of $29,132.79 for 2015 and $128,274.12 for 2016 for a grand total of $157,406.91. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Whereas the town board has previously appointed a town attorney, and whereas the town board believes it would be in the best interest of the town to retain a law firm with experience in providing services to municipalities rather than a single attorney to provide general legal services, now therefore be it resolved, the position and office of town attorney is hereby abolished. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Can I just ask, do we need to abolish it forever? I mean, let's say in 30 years somebody decides that they have a different, let's say
Or even in 6 months.
I'm just, does it have to be abolished in order to allow for a council the way we want to? Do we have to do either or, can we?
Yeah, the town law provides for the appointment of a town attorney. And various material that I read indicates that if a town attorney has been appointed previously, then in order to appoint someone other than a public officer as town attorney, you need to abolish the.
Okay.
We did some research, the clerk did research, there was no local law establishing that position, therefore it's obviously been done from time to time by resolution, and abolish it by resolution. Should you decide at a later time to retain somebody, appoint them as town attorney, you can adopt a resolution or a local law creating the position again.
Excellent. Thank you.
I think the word abolishes. Harsh sound.
I don't know. Can we ask your opinion before we vote on E?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to execute an agreement retaining Silverberg Zelantis, didn't want to mispronounce it, LLP to provide general legal services to the town of Ossining. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I'm very pleased to introduce our community to Steve Silverberg, and also with him tonight, Associate Christy Tom Adana. And I just wanted to give you a brief overview of a little bio of Silverberg and Zelantis. Kathy Zelantis isn't here this evening, but she'll be covering our planning board. Christy will be covering our zoning board of appeals, and Steve will be counsel to the town board. Steve Silverberg and Kathy Zelantis are former partners in a 750 lawyer firm where they and one other attorney handled the firm's municipal and land use zoning practice. 11 years ago, they started Silverberg Zelantis, LLP. Steve formerly served as a deputy town attorney in the town of Greenberg, and for 12 years was the retained attorney for the town of Mamaroneck, acting as counsel to the town board, planning board, and zoning board of appeals. Steve and Kathy also served for several years as attorneys for the village of Mamaroneck and their land use boards. Currently, Steve, Kathy, and their associate Christy Tomadonna serve as the attorneys for the village of Tarrytown and the village of New Hempstead. They are also the land use attorneys for the town of Haverstraw Planning and Zoning Boards. And for the last several years, they've also served as special environmental counsel to the city of Mount Vernon City Council. In addition, I'm just going to add this because I think it's really great to know a little bit about all of those who are going to be working with us. Steve is a former adjunct associate professor of law at New York Law School, where he taught state and local government law. Steve was on the board of directors of the Westchester Municipal Planning Federation and chaired the Environmental Law Committee of the Westchester County Bar Association. He also continues to periodically contribute articles to various publications on land use subjects and is on the board of editors of the New York Real Estate Law Reporter. In 2012, Steve received the Distinguished Service Award from the Rockland Municipal Planning Federation. Kathy, who graduated number 5 in her law school class, awesome, was executive editor of the Law Review. She's been in practice for 20 years. She's co-chair of the Westchester Women's Bar Association Committee on Land Use and Zoning. She has lectured on various land use topics and contributed articles on SECRA and other land use issues to the New York Law Journal and other publications. Currently, she's the planning attorney for the Village of Tarrytown and zoning board attorney for the Village of New Hempstead. Christy Tomadonna attended St. John's University Law School on a full scholarship, graduated magna cum laude, and was the executive notes and comments editor of the Journal of Civil Rights and Economic Development. Christy currently serves as the Tarrytown Zoning Board attorney and has worked on a number of the projects for the firm in Mount Vernon and Haverstraw. We are so excited to be retaining Silverberg and Zelantis. We feel very, very confident that they are going to represent us well, give us sound advice, and be excellent resources for the entire town. So thank you so much for coming on board, and I hope that we will all be voting in favor.
Thank you for your confidence. Appreciate it.
With that being said, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations. Resolved, the town board of the town of Austin hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign an agreement on behalf of the Mid-Hudson Ambulance District with the Austin Volunteer Ambulance Corps for January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2018, pending review and approval of by town council. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Very excited that Nick Franzoso, very good chief, is in the audience tonight while we approve this. We've been served so well by OVAC and the Mid-Hudson Ambulance District, and we look forward to that continued excellent service. We feel very safe and that we're being looked over and watched over with careful eyes with you guys. Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Whereas the Village of Austin declared at their December 16th, 2015 meeting that the below vehicles be surplus, and whereas the Village of Austin has offered the vehicle in as-is condition to the town of Austin for the sale price of $1 each, now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Austin hereby accepts the below automobiles and further authorizes the payment totaling $2 to the Village of Austin for a 1997 Ford dump and a 2003 Jeep four-door SUV. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Grateful to the Village of Austin for giving us a very reasonable price on some vehicles that they're surplusing, and we think that they'll serve us in good stead with a little bit of TLC from our highway department and our cemetery.
Mike, look,
Yes, Mike and Pete.
okay.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved, the town board of the town of Austin hereby authorizes the supervisor to sign a contract between the town of Austin and the CAI Technologies of Littleton, New Hampshire to provide tax map maintenance services for 2016 in the amount of $7,900. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second. Question. What is it?
Yeah, that was going to be my question.
These tax maps are used by the assessor's office.
Okay.
So it's something that we're still not able to do in-house, but they give us a great service, and the fee has been going down each year because we've needed them less and less. The assessor has told us that it's not a fee that's going to disappear, but we can be hopeful that it'll stay around this price or perhaps a bit lower in years to come.
And we've had them for a while, this same.
We have. I believe this is our third year having this company, and we had a different company before that.
And the assessor is happy with them?
Yes.
Okay.
And are they working with the reval or is that different?
I don't know if the softwares tie in together. I think that they're independent, but we can certainly ask Fernando.
And they're both necessary? I'm just checking.
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute the annexed agreement retaining Benjamin Levitt of Levitt.
Levitt.
Thank you, my mouth is all twisted up here. Legal to provide prosecutorial services and tax certiorari assistance to the town of Ossining. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. I just wanted to comment on this. Our deputy counsel, Mark Reisman, was recently elected to judge in the town of Ossining. We're very excited for him. We know he will be serving us well. In abolishing the position of town attorney, that also gets rid of the deputy town attorney position. We've asked Ben Levitt to come on board and handle our town prosecutorial as well as tax certiorari legal representation. And we're very excited that he will be doing so with great responsibility for the town, and we know that he will serve us well. And just a little bit of background I can give you on Ben is that he has a sole practice in White Plains, and he was an associate with Storch, Amini, and Munvies. For some time, he served in New Hampshire as a public defender, and in the public defender's office as a staff attorney, and has done and serves as a certified mediator for, I think, for Westchester County. I think I'm skipping someplace on where I wanted to find that title, but I can't find it. Certified mediation services in areas in a variety of areas, and he has a great approach to the law, and we're looking forward to working with him. Anybody else had anything to add?
Small aside, he also lives here in Ossining.
Oh, and he's an Ossining resident. We're very excited as a family.
We need to make a change to the text of the resolution. It should read, is authorized to execute an agreement retaining. We need to vote as amended.
Cute.
So to execute an agreement.
And the next agreement?
Nope, an agreement.
An agreement, okay.
All those in favor?
Aye,
As modified.
as amended.
Correct. And we have adoption local law number 1 of 2016, modifying references to the town attorney within the town code. This will be a roll call vote once I read it. Whereas the town board of the town of Ossining has been considering the adoption of a proposed law entitled modifying references to the town attorney within the town code, which shall cause Chapter 54 to be added to the town code under the title Attorneys. And whereas in accordance with New York State law, and after having provided all requisite notice thereunder, the town board conducted a public hearing on introductory local law number 1, 2016, entitled Modifying References to the Town Attorney within the Town Code on January 12th at 7:30 p.m. at the Birdsall Fagan Police Court Facility, 8688 Spring Street, Austin, New York, during which the public had the opportunity to be heard on such proposed local law. And whereas the proposed local law is a Type 2 action and does not require environmental review, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby adopts local law number 1, 2016, entitled Modifying References to the Town Attorney within the Town Code, with such adoption to take effect as set forth in said local law and as otherwise required by law. And be it further resolved that the town board directs said local law number 1 of 2016 to be filed and or distributed in accordance with the applicable law. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Councilperson Tory.
I'm sorry.
You have to
Voting
say
roll call
aye.
vote.
Aye, I'm sorry, I'm
nay.
sorry. Aye. I didn't hear you say, I didn't hear you.
Councilperson Jeffrey.
Aye.
Councilperson Wilshire.
Aye.
And Councilperson Feldman.
Aye.
And Supervisor Levenberg.
Aye.
We have the adoption of local law number 2, 2016, consultant fees in the town of Ossining. Whereas the town board of the town of Ossining has been considering the adoption of a proposed local law entitled consultant fees in the town of Ossining, which shall cause Chapter 6 to be added to the town code under the title consultant fees, and whereas in accordance with the New York State law, and after having provided all requisite notice thereunder, the town board conducted a public hearing on introductory local law number 2, 2016, entitled consultant fees in the town of Ossining on January 12th at 7:35 p.m. at the Birdsall Fagan Police Court Facility, 8688 Spring Street, Ossining, New York, during which the public had the opportunity to be heard on such proposed local law. And whereas the proposed local law is a Type 2 action and does not require environmental review, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby adopts local law number 2, 2016, entitled consultant fees in the town of Ossining, with such adoption to take effect as set forth in said local law and as otherwise required by law. And be it further resolved that the town board directs said local law number 2 of 2016 to be filed and or distributed in accordance with applicable law. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, this too is a roll call vote. Councilperson DeTore?
Aye.
Councilperson Jeffrey?
Aye.
Councilperson Wilshire?
Aye.
Councilperson Feldman?
Aye.
And Supervisor Levenberg?
Aye.
Thank you. Resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby reappoints Joan E. Whitaker to the position of Town of Ossining Representative to the Board of Directors of the Westchester Community Opportunities Program, WestCOP, for the 2015-2016 year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Question?
I thought you might. May I?
Yes.
I actually got a chance to speak with Joan earlier today, and she was telling me this is going to be her 10th year if she's appointed, and her 4th year, I believe she said, as treasurer. She's very excited about the work that they've been doing, and she actually has scheduled an appointment with Supervisor Levenberg to come in next week and talk about the work that they've been doing. So hopefully we'll have an update for you shortly, but she is very much wanting to be reappointed and continue that work. Good?
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have no correspondence to be received and filed. However, we do have monthly reports. Resolved that the town board of the town of Ossining hereby accepts the following monthly reports for the month of December 2015. Town Supervisor's Office, Town Building Department, Town Clerk's Office, Dale Cemetery, Town Tax Office, and the GE Helicopter Report. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Question. Were these all online? Because I didn't see any of these.
Yeah. The supervisor's office, building department are both on the FTP.
Okay.
As is Dale Cemetery. The town tax office report you just received tonight in
Right.
your envelopes, and the GE helicopter report
We
was
did
sent out
receive
earlier
that.
today as
Uh-huh.
well.
Was sent out,
Yes.
And the clerk's office was sent out as well.
I think, the 4th of January.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
That brings us to visitor recognition. Is there anyone who has come to address the board?
I'm very used to the private sector and how you have to deal with yourself if you don't do a job well. You're pretty much guaranteed to be let go. So I am not really sure. I can't really grasp what's going on with the government with This procedure that I've been dealing with, I have found I send emails, I don't get responses, particularly with the planning board. Most often do not have an opportunity to ask questions, so when anything's being discussed, I don't know if I'm right or wrong. It's really opaque. The whole process is really, really opaque, and it's been really difficult, and it's definitely taking a toll on my husband and myself because our property is being threatened. So I'm unsure of what just happened tonight, that the man who has done a lot of, have 38 years experience in this town and then produce a document like he did, I really don't understand what's going on. I don't know if you can explain anything to me or if it's some other time you can, because the fact is I have such trouble getting answers to my questions. So if you can give me an answer at a later date, that would be fine. I feel like
I'm gonna just defer this question to our council.
As the supervisors noted, there was no annual appointment. They
Right.
approved the fee schedule.
Right,
I think we all heard what you had to say tonight.
right.
A lot of us are new,
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
and we need an opportunity to evaluate what you've said,
Okay,
intend to do.
okay, okay. And then I don't know if it's public record. I mean, in the agenda, there's a lot of salaries listed, but there's no mention of how much the consultant gets paid. And is that public information?
Absolutely.
So can I find that out now?
That gets attached to I'm not sure how. Do we have the fee
There's a
schedule
letter
attached?
referred to that has a fee schedule
Right.
in it, and you can certainly make a request to the clerk, get a copy of it.
Okay, all right, because I'd just be curious, because I know,
Yep.
like, when I go into the building department, when I deal with the building inspector, and I saw what he makes, which doesn't seem like a tremendous amount of money, and I'm pretty sure the consultant gets paid a lot more than that. When I, like it or not, when you go to the building department, I find that he tends to really follow the law, and he gets back to the residents and answers, maybe not with the way you want to hear it, but you do at least feel like you're not being completely ignored or invisible. I'd be curious to see what the price difference is. I mean, that level of service and the other level of service. Thank you.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who's come to address the board? Not seeing anyone. May I have a motion to adjourn to executive session for legal advice and personnel?
So moved. Motion to adjourn into executive session for legal advice and personnel.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
We're out of our meeting, but I mean, we're in executive session. I just wanted to say if there was any last minute announcements, there's a couple of upcoming. I didn't make them at the beginning of the meeting, just wanted to let everybody know that there's a Grow Local Film Series. There's on January 14th, Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Highlighting future farmers in the spotlight shorts with questions and answers to follow that at Down to Earth Markets, 173 Main Street, third floor in Ossining. As I mentioned, there's a Cooperative Scholarship Fund event, January 16th at 3 p.m. That's this Saturday. And there's always our wonderful farmers market, which is staying outside this winter from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Market Square in the village. And the Ossining Arts Council has an upcoming event on Sunday, January 17th at 2 p.m. at Steamer Company Firehouse Gallery, 117 Main Street. Thanks so much. Have a great evening.